before you label or condemn me. Don't treat me like
So they're saying Neverland is where Michael Jackson took children to protect them from what was being done on Epstein.
Never forget that. Michael Jackson saved me from getting on a plane to that time.
For years, Michael Jackson has remained one of the most controversial figures in modern history. He was adored by millions across the world, yet constantly shadowed by serious allegations that followed him until his passing. Now, a new claim is spreading online suggesting that Paris Hilton, who has openly spoken about her own past experiences, may have hinted that Michael Jackson used his Neverland ranch as a refuge to shield children from the horrors linked to Epstein's island. This idea has left many people puzzled, especially considering Jackson's long-scrutinized connection with children. He faced accusations, stood trial, and was ultimately acquitted. Still, the mystery surrounding what truly happened at Neverland has never completely faded. In the aftermath of the Epstein files, some have begun to revisit Jackson's story from a completely different perspective. Not as someone dangerous, but as someone protective. A figure who may have recognized the darkness within Epstein's circle and attempted to build a safe haven of his own. So today, we take a closer look at these claims, Jackson's history with children, his legal struggles, the truth about Neverland Ranch, and the question that has resurfaced once again. Was Michael Jackson a predator, or could he have been a protector? And why, after so many years, are people still divided on the answer?
I don't want to watch that Michael Jackson thing. He's not allowed to defend himself, so it's
Correct.
weird. It's also stories. People tell the truth in stories sometimes, and sometimes they don't, and you don't know. It was always weird. No one knew why, with all the rumors that everybody had ever heard about Michael Jackson, that anybody would let their kids go and hang out with him.
When the Epstein files were unsealed, a single photograph emerged that sent shockwaves across the internet. It showed Michael Jackson and Jeffrey Epstein together in Palm Beach. The reaction to this image was instant and intense. Within hours, it spread everywhere, shared millions of times, and people quickly began jumping to conclusions. Michael Jackson was now being linked to Epstein, the king of pop suddenly associated with one of the most notorious networks in modern history. Considering MJ's past controversies involving children, many people didn't hold back their opinions. And honestly, that kind of reaction wasn't surprising. I mean, I grew up listening to Michael Jackson's music. There's no denying he was an incredible performer, but at the same time, he was undeniably strange.
To share your bed with someone.
Yes.
As we sit here today, do you still think that it's acceptable to share your bed with children?
Of course. Of course, why not? If you're going to be a if you're going to be Jack the Ripper, if you're going to be a it's not a good idea.
However, not everyone was quick to accuse Michael of being guilty. Some believe this explains everything, claiming Michael was set up from the start. In their view, he became a target, and even now many still say, "Rip MJ."
and fans, I wish to convey my deepest gratitude for your love and support. I am doing well and I am strong. As you may already know, after my tour ended, I remain out of the country undergoing treatment for a dependency on pain medication. This medication was initially prescribed to see the excruciating pain that I was suffering after recent reconstructive surgery on my scalp. There have been many disgusting statements made recently concerning allegations of improper conduct on my part. These statements about me are totally false. As I have maintained from the very beginning, I am hoping for a speedy end to this horrifying experience to which I have been subjected.
Now, believe what you want about Michael, but the Epstein files themselves paint a different picture. You see, Michael Jackson's name does appear in those documents, but it's listed alongside hundreds of others like Alec Baldwin, Naomi Campbell, Mick Jagger, Prince Andrew, and Andrew Cuomo. People who moved in elite circles, but were never charged with crimes. At the time that photo was taken, Epstein was still publicly known as a wealthy financier. He attended high-profile events and was photographed with countless celebrities. The crimes that would later define his legacy were not yet exposed. That said, new rumors are spreading online, claiming that Paris Hilton told people close to her that Michael Jackson used Neverland to protect children from Epstein. Some claims go even further, suggesting MJ knew what was happening on the island and created a safe haven to shield kids. Now, let me be clear. These are all unverified claims. Paris Hilton has never said this publicly, yet the speculation has grown rapidly. Posts online claim things like, Michael Jackson used Neverland to protect kids from Epstein. Others say he was silenced because of what he knew about powerful elites. Some even claim Neverland was where he took children to keep them safe from what was happening on Epstein's island. The reality is, there's no concrete way to prove any of this true or false. But if you step back and look at MJ's past, it may offer some perspective. Michael Jackson has been a deeply divisive figure for decades. To fans, he was the king of pop, a legend whose music will live forever. To critics, he was something far more controversial, a man surrounded by allegations, legal battles, and questions that never truly disappeared. In 1993, the first accusations surfaced. In 2003, he was charged. And in 2005, he went to trial.
In the last few weeks, a large amount of ugly, malicious information has been released into the media about me. Apparently, this information was leaked through transcripts in a grand jury proceeding, where neither my lawyers nor I ever appeared. The information is disgusting and false. Years ago, I allowed a family to visit and spend some time at Neverland. Neverland is my home. I allowed this family into my home because they told me their son was ill with cancer and needed my help. Through the years, I have helped thousands of children who were ill or in distress. These events have caused a nightmare for my family, my children, and me. I never intend to place myself in so vulnerable a position ever again. I love my community, and I have great faith in our justice system. Please keep an open mind and let me have my day in court. I deserve a fair trial like every other American citizen. I will be acquitted and vindicated when the truth is told. Thank you.
The world watched as the most famous man on the planet fought to clear his name. Michael Jackson was acquitted on all charges. The jury found him innocent, yet public doubt lingered. Questions about what really happened at Neverland never fully went away. When his name surfaced in the Epstein files, the reaction was instant. People saw the photo, noted the connection, and jumped to the worst conclusions. Epstein's horrific crimes, combined with Jackson's already controversial reputation, created a perfect storm. But a closer look tells a more complicated story. The files never accused Michael Jackson of any wrongdoing. They didn't tie him to Epstein's network, and his name doesn't appear on any flight logs to the island. The photo at the center of the controversy was explained by Jackson's former bodyguard, Matt Biddies, who said it was taken during a house hunting trip in Palm Beach around 2002 or 2003. According to him, the meeting captured in the photo was brief and entirely professional. But once you start examining Michael's ranch, that's when the story starts to get murky.
This is Neverland, the currently for sale former home and playground of music icon Michael Jackson. It's 10 years since the star performer died, but he continues to make news. The headlines these days, though, are less about him being king of pop, more about him being king of the kids, and persistent claims the eccentric megastar was a child abuser. His latest accuser is Adrian McManus, who knew the star's private life.
Neverland Ranch was Michael Jackson's personal sanctuary, a sprawling 2,700-acre estate in Santa Barbara County, featuring a zoo, amusement rides, theaters, and vast gardens. Jackson described it as a place where children, especially those facing illness or hardship, could find joy and safety. Supporters say that, having lost much of his own childhood to fame, He wanted to create a happy, protected space for kids. Critics, however, questioned why an adult man would build a haven so centered around children, and why some former visitors later leveled accusations. One voice has remained consistent through the decades: Macaulay Culkin. The Home Alone star spent time at Neverland as a child and testified under oath during the 2005 trial that Jackson never touched or harmed him. For over 20 years, he has reaffirmed this in interviews, defending Jackson emphatically. In the wake of the Epstein files, a new narrative has emerged, suggesting Jackson was not a predator, but a protector. According to this perspective, he understood the dangers of Epstein's world and used Neverland to shield children. Culkin's accounts are central to this story. He claimed Jackson stopped him from boarding a plane linked to Epstein, intervening to protect him. Yet the handling of certain images raises questions about the release's motives. A photo of Donald Trump, Melania Trump, Jeffrey Epstein, and Ghislaine Maxwell appeared in the files, then was quietly removed by the DOJ, sparking public outcry. It was eventually restored, but the signal was clear. Some images are deemed too dangerous for public view. Critics argue that releasing Jackson's photo alongside Epstein's files served a different purpose: distracting the public, generating outrage, and focusing attention on a polarizing figure, while more politically connected individuals with long-term Epstein ties remained in the background. Jackson's image appeared, the public reacted, and the conversation centered on him. Meanwhile, Trump's photo was temporarily hidden. The key question isn't whether Jackson was connected to Epstein. The files don't prove that. But why his image was released and what it was meant to divert attention from.